Hi, how are you? Amanda, Seint Artist. We're gonna do our makeup. I'm gonna use two brushes today. The detail brush, my favorite. I like this for my under eyes. I like this for contouring, but I'm gonna use a different brush, the blend brush. I love the finish I get when I use this brush. The more I use this makeup, the more I get into showing traditional makeup versus Seint makeup, the more I realize I'm not the full coverage girl I thought I was. I'm a mid to full, mainly medium coverage. And it's because traditional foundations are 18% pigmentation and Seint is cream-based, 3D, 80% pigmentation, and everything's foundational coverage. So I was used to traditional foundations that were thin and low pigmented, so I needed a lot of product. I had to add concealer, I had to add powders, and then I could go in and structure my face, and I was used to all that makeup, which is full coverage in my opinion. But then when I started using Seint, you need this much in comparison to what you were using, which is why it's an adjustment. And so you need less product for the same result. So when I went to the store the other day, I was looking at foundations, and the full coverage foundations felt so thick, like liquid clay. That's the only way I could describe it. And I was like, this is just too much. So I got a mid coverage. I do buy traditional makeup because I like to show how it compares to Seint. You can love your makeup. I loved my makeup, but then I loved Seint more. And that's what made the difference. So if you want to try this, I just need a makeup-free selfie. Just be all naked faced, look out a window from the inside, step back and take a picture and send it to me. And I'll give you all the recommendations and we will make a palette that works for your face, for what you want out of your makeup. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to go in with my detail brush and I'm going to go into my contour first. I'm using the color Olive. I have a light complexion right now. I haven't gotten into my summer yet. I live in Oregon, so we don't really hit summer until July. But I'm gonna go in with my contour. I like doing this first because it kind of makes those no-fly zones where you're not gonna stack your makeup. So I'm going into the contour and I'm just gonna put this on either side of my forehead. And again, it's highly pigmented and it just creates this really nice dimension. Look at that. I mean, already it looks nice. And I've gotten that coverage on my forehead. I don't need a whole lot of coverage. I don't have a lot of problems on my forehead. All of my discoloration is down here on the lower part of my face. But because this is a foundation also, I'm still able to cover everything up. So I'm just gonna be on the edge here and I'm gonna stamp this on the side of my nose. I have a little bit of a bump on my nose. And so I like doing the stipple method. Otherwise it'll pick up right here on my high point and leave almost like a bald spot of my makeup. And so I just stamp it up here and then I bring it down. But I stipple it. I stipple, stipple, stipple. I feel like if you're color correcting or you have texture, or maturing skin, stippling your makeup on pushes it into your skin and makes it that second skin look. And it doesn't pick up product or settle into areas. And so I'm just pushing this into my brows. And then I'm going to put this on the bottom part of my nose. And this just gives it structure and it straightens everything out. I had a little itch. And so I've just done that on my nose. And that's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep this a little dark. I like to underblend my contour once I get to this brows and lower. I underblend it because I'm going to be adding colors around it, which will blend it down more. All right, going into the side of that brush again. Anytime you're contouring with the detail brush, pop it onto that side right there. And I'm gonna come right up here. If you're new to contouring, I have an itch. If you're new to contouring, I want you to hang that contour back, okay? So that just means come to that top part of your ear, where you feel that cheekbone, and we're just gonna stamp it right back there. And just leave it there. You don't need to bring it down, just leave it there. Let that be there, and then just push up. Keep your brush at an angle and push up into that cheekbone and under blend it so it looks like a big old dirty spot. Whatever's left on the brush, just push in front of your earlobe and bring it down. This is just going to add dimension and structure to your jaw right back here. All right, I'm going to add some more and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to hang that back over here and keep that brush at that angle and push into that cheekbone. And I just blend it out and I push it up so it fades up and lifts the cheekbones. And I'm just keeping it right back there. So if you're new to contouring, you don't need to come down, just hang it into the back. That's the best way to get used to contouring, and as you get used to it, you can start doing more. You don't want to just run out the gate. You want to warm up. That's all we're doing. We're warming up to contouring. And then whatever's left, I'm just pushing in front of the ear. Pushing in front of the earlobe right here, to me, is key because your jaw doesn't go back here. It comes up. And so this just gives you that structure like that. And it can slim things down. Just make it nice. We just want to make it nice. All right, I'm going to go in to brightening. So I'm going to switch. I've done all the contouring, so I'm kind of done with this brush. I'm going to go into my blend brush. I like this brush. I love this brush. This brush is fluffy on both ends, just one is shorter than the other, but I like how short this one is. So if you look right here, this one's a little pointy. It's good, but this one's fluffy. And it's the denser the brush, the more product you'll pick up. So when you have something a little tighter like this, it's going to pick up a little more product. And that's why I like the blend brush, because less is more. I have a lot of texture right here from my kids and being like, what the heck? What the heck? And then I have texture under here because it's a soft tissue. So that's why I like a light application brush. So I'm going to go into my brightening, which is Versailles, and I'm going to tap it on. You tap, you don't wipe, and I'm going to put some on. This is a clean brush, so you can see it. You never want it to look caked into your brush. You want it to be on the tips of your bristles. And so I'm going to go in right in between my brows here. Now remember, it's a heavily textured area. And so I'm going to tap here, and it's 2 shades lighter than my actual skin tone. Okay, well, it might be more. I like it to be pretty bright. And so it's going to look really scary and textured until we blend it. And this is adding lightness to our face, adding dimension, adding reflecting light. And it's also going to accentuate the pretty Cupid's bow by adding it right here. You can see how it already highlights that area. It makes it look so pretty. And I'm going to put some right here on the middle of my chin. And we're just bringing lightness in, okay? And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to use little baby circles, and I'm just pushing this up over my brows and up towards that contour. And then I'm going to fluff the tip, and I'm going to flip it to my empty, clean end here. And I'm just going to push this around and swirl it. And what I'm doing here is I am marrying my brightening to that contour. And it just evens out, fades together, and it's so nice. I'm just going up and down right there. And then I'm going to tap this out. So it's there, it's just blended out. And so when I put my main highlight on, it'll all marry together really pretty. I'm going to go back to my detail brush, and I'm just going to fine tune my nose. Just like that, bringing that, fading it in towards the middle. Just a little bit, gives it that natural look. Okay, back to my blend brush. I'm going to go into my brightening again, tapping it on, and I am going to go under my trough here. Right there, and I'm going to bring it up, and this is my under eye, and then I'm going to bring it up over here. Not a lot. Again, I have an itch on my nose. Less is more, and so you want to just use, you could stipple, but I mean, a light touch is all you need. You don't need to be moving the skin. You're not trying to move the product. You're trying to blend the product. And so all I'm doing is I can stipple this here and connect what I put up here to what I put down here. Just like that, but it's a light touch. The tip of the bristles is all you need to move this makeup. And you can see already it's added lightness. I'm just using the fluffy end. I haven't added any product to this brush. I'm just using this to pick up excess product, give it a final blend. And do you see how it's lifted the eye, given me some brightness? It's camouflaged the tired eyes. It's good stuff. All right, I'm going to go in again, tapping. And I'm starting under that trough because it camouflages any puffiness. If I just applied it to this soft tissue, it could make my eyes look puffier than they are. We don't want to do that. All right, connecting it, and then just little light touch, just feathering this around, not a heavy hand, and I'm just lightly blending this out so that it fades. All right, let's get into main foundation, okay? The truest tone to your skin, because it's all foundation, but the truest tone, and how I use the blend brush to do it. I'm going to go in, I'm using June, and I'm going to stamp this on. Okay, you want to stamp it on, and you don't want it to be caked. You see how my bristles aren't sticking together? It's all on the tips of the bristles. You see that? That's what's key. And then we're going to sponge. Think of sponging. Remember sponging? We're going to sponge this on, and I'm going to bring this up over my discoloration here And then I'm tapping this and I'm sponging it all where a beard would go. So down here, and I bring it up, and if I need more, I can just grab a little more, just like that. Then we can use very light, tips of the bristles again, and then we just blend it around. After we've applied it where we want it, we blend it around. And you see how it softens that contour by blending around it? That's why we underblend the contour, is because it will blend down when we start adding our other colors. And putting it in with that brightening, bringing it down, and that's it. And look at that nice even tone. All right, gonna add some more. We're just putting some more June on. And again, not caking the bristles together, they're just on the tips. And I always start back here when there's the most on the brush to avoid adding texture. And I'm gonna stamp it back here, bringing it down, bringing it up, bringing it to the crease last, because my nose and my smile line are the crease, and I don't want excess product there because it will gather and look cakey. I also have larger pores here as I mature, and so that's why I start back here, and as I come down, it gets thinner and thinner, and then it comes up, and it's less texture. Then I can just, with a light touch, use the tips of the bristles just to get this all blended down. Just like that. Marrying it into that brightening. And I don't do any coverage until everything's on my face. All right, let's get into some bronzer because we want to warm things up. It's winter, we want to warm up our face. So I'm going to go into Bella Bronzer, and I'm going to tap it on. Now this is creamy, so it picks up pretty easy. And so we're just going to have a little bit on the tips of the bristle, and we're going to hit the high points of our face, which is just right up here. This is where the sun kisses our forehead, and I just put it on the high points above my brows, and I just swirl it around, and then I bridge it into the middle. And it just adds a touch of warmth, and it's buildable, so you can make it as warm as you want. But I just thought it would be nice to do something really light and simple. All right, I'm gonna add a little more, and I'm just gonna tap this above that contour on the high point of my cheekbone, and then swirl it up to meet where I put it on my forehead. And we just build it. I like to add it a little bit like a blush, because I like a warm blush tone on my skin. Same over here, high point of the cheekbone, and then we just bridge it up and bring it down like a blush. And again, look at how it brings down that contour. That contour doesn't look like that scary dirty mark anymore. It's so easy. This is the easiest makeup you'll ever use. It really is. Once you figure out how it all works, because it is a transition. There is a transition period to anything that's new. So when you're used to liquids and you're switching to creams, there's going to be a transition. All right, I've been using Madrid and loving it. So I'm going to go into Madrid, putting it on the brush. I'm not cleaning between the brush. It just, what you put on the brush when you're not packing it on, when you put it on the brush, you're putting it on your face. All right, I'm going to smile, and I'm just going to add a little touch of pink down here on the lower part, and just kind of between that contour and that bronzer. And then I just bring it down, and I smile because I want to see where the apples are. Because as you get older, those break down. And so I'm just starting right here, bringing it to the apples and building. I like to build. I don't like to add too much. You can always blend it down if you do, but I just build. I just tap and go, tap and go. And that's that. I'm going to go ahead on the small end here. I'm going to go in, I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to go into my contour here, pick some up. See it right? You could barely see it. And I'm just going to go under right here. I'm just adding a touch of a shadow to create dimension on my lips and make them look a little fuller. And I'm just tapping over my Cupid's bow, and it's going to do the same thing. You see how it just looks like I have a curl? There's a touch of a shadow, but you can see the edge of my lip. That's all I'm doing. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of liner because I like lip liner. And I'm going to do MAC Strip Down. I love this one. It's a really pretty nude. Neutral, I guess is the term we're supposed to use now. And I'm just going to line the edge. I'm not outer lining my lips. I'm just going on the edge, and I do go up just a skosh on the Cupid's bow. Just like that. And then we're going to come down here on the edge. And it's just this really pretty brown, but I am going to go into our shade of the month, Lolly. I have it right here, and I'm just going to rub this on my finger here. I'm gonna hide it on it. It's really bright in the tin, but look at how pretty that goes on. Look at that, it's so pretty. And that is how I do it. If you have oily skin, I'm gonna take that blend brush, I'm gonna go into my setting powder, and I'm just gonna tap that. If you like a matte finish, just grab that setting powder and tap it over those high shine areas, and you can make this a nice matte finish. The nice thing is, Seint looks like skin. It goes on like a second skin, and so it doesn't add texture, and it just glows dewy like your skin, not oily. But if you have oily skin, you just grab this really nice vanilla dust. I have oily skin, and so I just add a little bit of powder to my high shine areas. I avoid my under eye because it's textured and powder adds texture. So, but if you must, take what you think is an empty powder brush and just bring it up to that area, and it will take care of that shininess that you're trying to subside, see? Without adding texture. And that's it. I'm gonna take setting spray. I use Charlotte Tilbury because I have oily skin. And I'm gonna spray it. It's gonna set it, and it's not gonna move. And that's my face with the blend brush. Have a great day.